Hello everyone, hope you are well on a Sunday afternoon. Pretty dang hot out here today. Next week we are supposed to get a heat wave that will be close to 100 here, plus add on that good old Georgia humidity. It's going to be a fun week. Talk about a couple of different things in this video, but first I wanted to ask, I've been hearing a lot of chatter out there about, especially yesterday, I think maybe Friday too, where people were running into cash only situations at the stores. And when they were going up to pay for something, grocery store, hardware, whatever store, that when they were trying to pay for something, the credit card and debit card services were out. So they either had to pay with cash or come back later. Let me know if you have been experiencing this. I've heard, and I saw another report where this was happening in 3 to 4 states over this weekend, especially yesterday. I haven't heard any update about it today, but let me know if you're hearing that or if you've experienced that. So I'm curious. I had a interesting question, a really good question from a viewer from yesterday. I think it was either yesterday's video or the day before. I can't remember. But anyway, the question was, how can I prepare? How can I prep if I'm poor? If I really very strapped, I have no money? Well, that is a very good question. And that doesn't mean you can't prepare. There are things we can do, and you're going to get through this. We are going to survive all this mess that's going on. We'll talk a little bit more in detail about why here in a little bit. But back to that question, you can pray. First of all, that's first and foremost. You can pray. That's free. You can prepare physically. Physical fitness, your diet, that's free. Well, for the most part, it can be free. But preparing is different for everyone. It doesn't look the same for everybody. Don't buy into this thing. If you watch a lot of videos, okay, that's fine, that's good. I watch a lot of videos, but you don't have to have years of food and water and all this expensive stuff to make it. Now, depending on what happens, but like I said, preparing is different for everybody. Even if you just go and buy a couple of items extra each trip, it adds up quickly. Believe me, that's how we started out, and we're on a budget. So, just keep at it, and don't let it stress you out. There are many factors into it. In preparing your location, the group, if you have a group that you're part of. Like I said, even a few extra items is good. Do what you can, do what you're able, and do it on a consistent basis. Prepare physically, spiritually, mentally, and that's all you can really do. And that's all you need to do. It really is. And just keep working at it. Don't stress yourself out over it. Don't give up. That's my message. But be careful. Be careful what you're watching out there, who you're listening to. I watch all kind of videos. I watch the ones too sometimes that are just the super fear porn, 100% in your face, but I take it with a grain of salt. You have to think for yourself. Don't let anyone else do the thinking for you or tell you what to believe or tell you what to think. You think for yourself, you do the research. And like I said, you prepare all you can and pray. And that's all we need to do, essentially. Now, money's important, sure. I mean, the more you have the means, you can buy all kinds of stuff. In the end, it may not really help you out that much, depending on what's going on, what's happening. So skills are important. What can you do? Even if you have little or no money, or if you're on a super tight budget, what can you do? What skill do you have? Can you fish? Can you hunt? Can you grow food? Can you tend to a garden? Can you start a garden? Are you mechanically inclined? Are you good with people? Do you have really good interpersonal skills? Those are super important in any time, even during an SHTF or not, even during times like right now. Even if things get a lot worse, those are important and will be important. So you're going to make it, because several different things. You decide you're going to survive and persevere, you will. The human will to survive is extremely strong. And like I said, if you've decided that you're going to, you will. If you work hard at it, you adapt. If money is tight, if you have no money, if you're broke, think about what you can do. Think about the talents and skills you have. Everybody has a talent. Everybody has a skill, God-given, that makes you better. You have a skill, you have a talent, at least one, that makes you better at something than the average bear out there, okay? You figure that out. Once you figure that out, work it. Really focus on it. How can you turn that into helping others? And the money will come. That's the way it works out. It really does, believe me. So a lot of this is mental, all right? Other ways to save, other ways if you're really strapped, and we're gonna have to make hard decisions. Prices are gonna keep going up, and all these things could get really tough. I think, what else can you do? I know housing is just insane. I don't know how people are renting. I believe that multi-generational multi-generational homes are going to become a lot more common. There's several of them in our neighborhood here that I've noticed, and I believe in it. I mean, if it works out, if all parties agree, you have to have some ground rules and have some agreement. But I believe we're going to see a lot more of it, and I think it's something everybody should consider. Pool your resources, your talents. There's a lot of advantages to it. Yes, there's some downs. You're gonna give up some privacy, maybe not necessarily as much as you realize. So what else can you do? Can you sell? Can you sell some stuff that if you've got a lot of stuff you don't need, might be valuable. You may not even realize it. Try to sell it. Get rid of it. But I think there are creative ways we can try to adapt and save and survive and thrive. There really is. I really do. I really think the multi-generational homes are going to be a real thing. We really don't know how things are going to turn out. The world does seem like it's in a big old mess right now. It's not just the United States, not just Canada, but it seems everywhere, doesn't it? But like I said, don't get too caught up. Don't add to your stress by buying into, and I know, don't get too caught up in some of these things that people are saying, like, 80% of preppers are going to die. You're going to die because of this and that, and you can't survive this if you don't have X, Y, Z. That's a bunch of BS, man. I mean, all you need to do, in my opinion, like I said, prepare the best you can as you're able. Get right with God, okay? Pray. What else do you need? You can't solve all the world's problems. You can't stop certain things. You can only control what's going on around you and yourself. You can only control so much, all right? That's all you need. Let God sort it out, and He will. He will. All right. I've probably rambled on too much. I'm going to read a verse. I'm going to read two verses that I think are really good. This is from Romans 8, chapter 8, verse 31, and I'm going to read verse 35 as well. Now in Romans Verse 31 says, what then shall we in response to these things? Let me start over. What then shall we say in response to these things? If God is for us, who can be against us? Verse 35 says, who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Shall trouble or hardship or persecution or famine or nakedness or danger or sword? Nothing. Amen. Let's keep that in mind. Share your thoughts. Be positive. Keep working at it. Keep praying. Let's help each other out. God bless you. I'll see you soon.